What's happening? What's happening, everybody? Robert Kennedy III here, RK3. That's me. I am in the house again. Yeah, doing another live. I did one a couple of days ago, and I just shared something about how to remember your stories. I'll recap that again in just a moment. But before I do that, I just wanted to welcome you to the broadcast or welcome you to this quick live. I'll be here for maybe about 10 minutes. If you're watching this on the replay, just go ahead and type replay in the comments. Boop, boop, hashtag replay. You can use the pound sign or that number symbol. For those of you that are not really familiar with hashtagging or hashtaggery, right? So I just wanted to share that, and I wanted to just let you know, for those of you that have never connected with me before, what I'm up to, what I do. I am a speaker. I'm a corporate facilitator, trainer. I work with organizations on leadership and communication. I live at the intersection of leadership and communication. I work with leaders who need to deliver critical messages with confidence. And so that's what I do in the corporate world. I work My training company works with organizations to do that. Online, I help people tell better stories. I help them tease out, discover, develop, and deliver their own signature story so that they can impact, influence, and inspire. Yeah, so that's me in a nutshell. I see there's a few of you on here. Just say hey if you're on and you are watching. Just say, hey, Robert, in the comments so I can pop you on screen. I want to make sure that I get you on screen. But I want to talk really quickly today about 3 ways that you can become a better storyteller. 3 simple ways that you can become a better storyteller. Now, why is that even important? Why do people want to become better storytellers in the first place? Well, there are quite a few reasons. Number one, sometimes you just want to engage people and keep their interest for longer, right? It kind of increases or improves the likability factor when you're able to tell stories and just gain their interest. Okay, and if that likability factor improves, it helps in influence. It helps in your corporate settings. It helps in your job. It helps in your business because people are going to listen to you a little bit longer just because you're interesting and you tell good stories and you make a point and you're able to just really inspire them or help them think about things in a different way. So those are a couple of reasons why it's good for you to improve your storytelling. The third reason that I would say it's good for you to improve your storytelling ability is because each of us has a story. Okay, each of us is going through some stuff. Each of us is living a journey. Each of us is living a circumstance, and you are not living the story just for you. I like to say that you may be the star of your story, but your story is not for you. Okay, because you're really, hey, how you doing, Don Juan Lather? all right, from Chicago. Awesome. So your story, being able to tell stories effectively, is very beneficial for you. So I want to share with you 3 things really quickly, 3 ways that you can become a better storyteller. The first one, I'll repeat what I shared on Monday's broadcast, and that was in remembering stories. Sometimes it can be difficult to remember them. So number 1 way to become a better storyteller is by constantly looking at them or creating a space, creating an archive, creating a vault where you can capture your stories. So what I've done, one of the things that I've done is I use Evernote to capture a lot of information in my life. So Evernote allows me to create different notebooks. And what I've done in one notebook, I've called it a story vault. And I've got different notes in the notebook, and they're titled different decades of my life. Hey, Adrian from Somerville. Right. And so the first note says 0 to 10. Okay. Are there stories that I remember from that 0 to 10 space in my life? As I remember them, as I think about them, I pop them there. I've got an 11 to 20. Are there things that happened in my teenage years that I want to share? As I remember them, I pop them there. Are there things that happened from 21 to 30 that I want to share. Yeah, for me in my life, yeah, some great things happened from 21 to 30. I got married in that 21 to 30 decade. Woo, great thing. I had kids in that 21 to 30 decade. I think two of my three kids came in that 21 to 30 decade, right? And then I believe my third child came in the 31 to 40 decade, right? And now I'm in the 41 to 50 decade, right? And so what are the things that are happening in each of those decades that you can utilize to really make a point, share lessons, share with others, influence others? You've got to write them, because the challenge that a lot of us have is that you know the lesson that you need to tell or share, but you're not always able to quickly pull a story from your mental Rolodex in order to make that point effectively. So what better way to do it than by having an archive from which you can pull regularly? Okay. If you like that, say yes, write yes in the comments if you thought that was valuable. Okay. So that's number one. Create a story vault. That's number one. Okay. The number two thing that you can do to become a better storyteller, especially now, number two thing that you can do to become a better storyteller is start a blog. Start a blog. Now, here's the thing about blogs. Some people think that starting a blog is ridiculously hard. Some people are like, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to make it happen. And it's okay. I'll tell you this, starting a blog is ridiculously easy. There's so many different ways that you can start a blog. And when I say a blog, I don't necessarily mean a traditional blog on your website in the standard way. There are a lot of different things that you can do to start a blog. I'll share with you a few ways really quickly. Number one, you can start a blog on medium.com. Okay, you can go to medium.com today, sign up, and just start writing there. Number two, you can go to WordPress.com. Go sign up there. Get started today. Okay, those are two easy ways to do this. If you are on LinkedIn, okay, if you're on LinkedIn, you can use LinkedIn publishing to publish articles, and that can function as a blog for you. Okay, if you want to write posts consistently on Facebook using the story or the notes option on Facebook, okay, do they still have that? Anyway, if they do, that is a way for you to start a blog. You can, if you want to get more complicated, go to WordPress.org, download that WordPress theme and get it set up on a host and a website and use that to blog. There are a lot of ways for you to start doing this. What I want to say is do it. And here's why I say do it. I'm not even talking about the visibility that it might bring. I'm not even talking about the monetization that you can attach to it. I'm not even talking about any of the expertise that might become apparent because of it. I'm simply talking about practice, because here's what happens. A lot of people say, man, I don't want to do it if people don't see it and if nobody's responding to it and nobody's commenting on it. Right? It's what you are able to do when nobody's looking that strengthens you. It's what you're able to do when nobody's looking that shows your character. It's what you're able to do or what you're willing to do when nobody's looking that helps you grow and become better. And my statement here is, how do you become a better storyteller? One of the ways to do that is by practicing. And one of the ways to practice is by starting a blog. It might be, you might think about it as a journal that you do in public. Ooh, right? Because some people might happen to see it. But a blog is a second way for you to become a better storyteller. Now, if you're still not sure how to do this, there are a lot of ways that you can get started. You can Google how to start a blog if you want. My friend Leslie Samuel has a great website, becomeablogger.com. And he not only talks about the how to start it, but he talks about all of the different things that you do alongside it, along with it. Okay. All right. Somebody said they slacked off on their blogs. Yeah. All right. Karen says that she's got one too. Excellent. So he's got a lot of great information there. Leslie Samuel, check him out, look him up. Okay. If you want, I've got a course on my course website that I share how to start a blog as well. If you want to get set up with that, let me know. Say me or write I want your blog course in the comments, and I'll make sure to post that and send that to you so you can get signed up for it. Okay. Really small course or really inexpensive course, but I know I'm clear that it's going to bring you a lot of value. Okay. So if you want to start a blog, that's a really great way to do that. Okay. The third thing that you can do to become a better storyteller in this time. Okay. First one, create a story vault. Second one, start a blog. Third thing that you can do to become a better storyteller is start a podcast. Start a podcast. A podcast is a really great way to become a better storyteller. Now, as I said with blogs, sometimes sometimes you do things and you kind of feel like, well, if nobody's listening, if nobody's reading, it's a waste. Not so much. Really depends on what your goals are. If your goals are to practice in public so that you can become better, then yes, do those things. And sometimes here's what happens accidentally along the way. You're doing something in public, somebody happens to see it, you share something poignant, and their life gets blessed, or they share something with somebody else. And before you know it, right, you have a different connection than you intended. Now, again, like blogging, podcasting is a way to podcasting can be challenging because there are a lot of different things that go along with it, but it can also be really easy. Okay, you don't have to worry about podcast host and podcast art and a whole lot of different things and where to post it, all of that. There are a lot of different things that go with more, I would say, professional podcasting. But if you really want to start a podcast, there are a couple of easy ways that you can do it. The first easy way that you can start a podcast is just simply say, you know what? I want to record something for 2 minutes. I just want to share a thought for 2 minutes and upload that to YouTube. You can download the YouTube app on your phone and record a 2-minute podcast, video and or audio every day if you want it. Okay. All right. So that's the first way. Another way to do it for free and easy as well is to go to anchor.fm. Anchor.fm allows you to download an app or do it from a computer. You can share thoughts daily if you want. They don't have to be long. Sometimes I say the word podcast and people are thinking, oh, it's got to be 30 minutes. It's got to be 60 minutes. It's got to be 2 hours. It's got to be half a day. It's got to be a long podcast. It does not have to be a long thing. It can be something that is very short, very simple. You can do a microcast. Okay, I'll call it that. Micro podcast. It can be 60 seconds, 2 minutes. And if you do this daily, you share your thoughts daily, you share a story daily, you share a reflection daily. This is how you practice and you become better at storytelling. Okay, so at first it might just be willy-nilly. It might just be something that you're not even sure how it sounds or how it's coming off. Right. But if you do it multiple times, if you do it over time, I bet you if you did it for at least a month, you would see a marked improvement in your thought process. You would see improvement in how you share, how you speak, how you tell stories. Okay, I'm just going to tell a story. I'm going to talk about my day and the one big lesson that I learned from yesterday. And I'm going to talk about that in 2 minutes every day. Easy peasy, right? The only thing that you've got to do is be consistent with this. Be consistent with this. So those are my 3 things. 3 things that you can do right now to become a better storyteller. Number 1, create a story vault. Number 2, start a blog. Number 3, start a podcast. Okay, I can help you with the blog. If you want to if you want to inbox me, I can share with you stuff about podcasting as well. These are not necessarily the services that I provide. What I do work with people on is helping them with storytelling, helping them to develop signature stories, helping them to understand how they can utilize their current stories, their current situations, their current stuff, and make a story out of that that people want to listen to, and in some cases even purchase. Okay, they might want to bring you in as a storyteller, as a speaker. That's how I work with people. That's how I help people. Okay, so I'm just going to look really quickly. A couple of people says no one cares, but it does help to get my message out and to work on speaking and storytelling. Yeah, so I wouldn't say that no one cares. I would say that the right people are distracted, or everyone else is distracted. People care about the things that they care about. They may not care about the thing that you're saying because your message isn't the one that resonates or aligns with them specifically, but they do care about something. And if it's up to you, if you are going to connect with those that do care about your message, then you've got to speak it. You've got to share it. You've got to put it out in public. You've got to be willing to be vulnerable, transparent, and open it up, so that it can be accessible to someone. And I bet you after a little while, you'll find out that people do care. People do care. It's just got to be the right people. Okay. And I like to say it this way. Your voice may be assigned to someone specific. Here's a story. I remember when I was teaching, I was a teacher for 10 years, and I was a physics teacher, and I would teach these concepts to my students. And inevitably, every year, I would teach a concept, and there was a student that would say, "I don't get it, Mr. K." Right? And I would try to explain it another way. I would explain it a different way. I'd figure out, okay, what's another way that I can phrase this or frame this so that the student understands. I would come up with something, and the student would say again, "I don't get it, Mr. K." And I would try to do it a third way. I would look for a third way to explain this concept, this process. And the student would say, "I don't get it, Mr. K." And then this happened a lot. Every year, a student would come across from the other side of the classroom or lean over and explain what I just explained to this other student, sometimes using verbatim the exact words that I used. And as the student explains to the other student, the one that didn't understand all of a sudden goes, "Oh, I get it. Why didn't you say it like that, Mr. K?" And in my mind, I'm saying, but I did. What I had to learn, though, it's not that I was a bad teacher. It's not that I was a terrible person. It was that my voice may not have been fully assigned to that student. The student was able to hear the message. They were able to hear and gain understanding because there was another voice that aligned and was assigned to them. So you've got to think about your voice. Who is your voice assigned to? And are you speaking enough? Are you putting yourself in position so that they can hear your voice? Because think about it. If you're not doing that, and you know that your voice is assigned to somebody, or if you understand that your voice is assigned to somebody and you're not doing anything about it, then you're literally robbing that person of an opportunity. So I want to invite you, I want to empower you, I want to encourage you to share your story. If you're not sure how to do that, if you're not sure how you can do that, or if you're not sure if you should do that, I want to invite you to join me right here. I want to invite you to join me in the Storytellers Growth Lab. Join me in the Storytellers Growth Lab on Facebook. You can go search Storytellers Growth Lab, or you can just go to storytellersgrowthlab.com and join me there. Let's get connected. Let's talk. Let's get into the community. The mission of our community is to grow 1 million storytellers, 1 million people who can tell their stories with confidence. Okay, that's it. Let me see. I've got a bunch of people here. Yeah, there's an audience out there for everyone. Absolutely. Absolutely, there is. Wyman says, in order to connect with those who need your message and your story, you must be willing to handle the fact that they often sit next to those who don't care, or are indifferent to your story. That's good. That's gold, Wyman. I love that. Okay? Those who don't care will move on, but you'll change lives of some of those who need that message. Excellent. All right. Don Juan, Lather says voice matters. I love it, Don. Thank you. Thank you. Great tips. Okay, great. Yeah, be persistent. Be persistent. Be persistent. Listen, I just wanted to share that with you this morning. Hopefully, you found some value in that. And I just want to invite you one more time. Join me in the Storytellers Growth Lab. If you are interested in learning how to tell your story, how to present it, how to give it to others with confidence, how to figure out what your story is, dig deep inside, and then be able to share it for impact, influence, and inspiration. Join me in the Storytellers Growth Lab, storytellersgrowthlab.com, or just search Storytellers Growth Lab on Facebook. All right. That's all I wanted to share. That's all I wanted to share with you today. Listen, y'all, everything that happens to you in life is your stuff. Your stuff is your story, and your story deserves a sage. I'll see y'all next time.